It's the first business day of the week, and it's good to have you on Business Incorporated. I am Bisi Adebayo. On today's show, Mohammed Saleh emerges the new chairman of the Egyptian Stock Exchange. Plus, Tanzania and Uganda kick off construction of $3.55 billion crude export pipeline. Plus, Nigeria adds $550 million to gross official reserves in July. Well, we'll kick off right here in Africa at the stock markets, which are all looking good at intraday. The Nigerian stock index is trending 0.02% upwards at 37,434.31, while the South African Bourse is 0.35% higher at 56,138.56. It's the same story in Egypt, with a 0.96% rise at intraday. And it's a mixed bag of numbers in the Middle East after Saudi stocks edged up in early trade, with gains kept in check by sharp declines in the local market's third largest bank after it reported a slight dip in second quarter profits. Samba Financial Group dropped 2.7% after it reported net profit of $339 million, broadly in line with analyst forecasts and down 3.3% year-on-year. In the United Arab Emirates, the Abu Dhabi index is 0.14% higher. The Qatar index is down 0.03%, while in Dubai, the index was down 0.2% at intraday, as 11 other shares also declined. European stocks largely passed today after last week's sizable rally, limited by a downbeat reading on German industrial output. Data from the Germany's economics ministry shows that industrial output in Europe's largest economy surprisingly fell at the end of the second quarter of 2017. Well, let's see how this is playing out on the market today. And Daniel Koop is on with us this week from the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. It's good to have you on the program, Daniel.
Hi there, Bisi. Very nice talking to you. I can already promise you it's going to be a very interesting and busy week here coming from Frankfurt.
Absolutely, Daniel. Well, just before we talk about the industrial output data, let's start with France, where the economic and finance minister says in a TV interview that Paris will become the capital of Europe while looking to shave corporate tax in the region from the current 35%. Is this all about Brexit or the usual rivalry between Paris and Frankfurt?
Yeah, actually very interesting that he was making this announcement of calling Paris basically the new capital of Europe, also now with this effort of this lower tax basically to, give companies a present when they decide to choose Paris or France as their new headquarters. Because the problem that many banks and financial institutions right now in the United Kingdom are dealing with is that they have a very big uncertainty how they're going to do their business when Brexit is really going to be underway. Many banks and financial institutions are fearing that they might have to apply, for example, for a new banking license in order to do business with the remaining member states of the European Union. So now there is this competition, which cities they're going to choose. Is this going to be Dublin? Dublin, of course, very interesting for many of them because they don't even have to learn a new language when moving there. Then, of course, we have Brussels. Brussels is, as we know, the capital of the European Union with lots of institutions. We already saw in the past British Lloyds deciding to move their headquarters from London to Brussels. Then we have Frankfurt, of course, also very attractive when you talk about the infrastructure here in Europe, with Frankfurt International Airport as a global hub here in Europe. Also, of course, with the European Central Bank being located here as well. And also, when you compare rent prices here in Frankfurt to London, for example, it's much cheaper here in Frankfurt. You can have a luxury apartment for, let's say, 1,500, 2,000 euros per month. That's what you might have to pay in London during just 1 week. So there's this big competition right now going on. I think at the end, they are going to be choosing different locations. We are hearing that already 18 locations here in Frankfurt have been watched by banks and financial institutions, but also Dublin and now also Paris is of course also very interesting. And actually it's interesting that there's also competition when you talk about other branches right now. Also Germany started a campaign calling Closer to Europe, trying to promote Bonn, the former capital here in Germany, as the new headquarters for the European Medical Agency, also right now based in London and also looking for a new location here in Germany or Europe.
Now, talking about Germany's industrial output data, what are the facts behind the surprising latest fall?
Yeah, actually very interesting, because many experts were actually predicting that this would be actually growing. But when you look at the numbers, and I give you the hard facts in just a second, that after 2 times that this index was actually going up, now it's going down, actually more than 1%. And experts were thinking at the beginning that the production might be growing by at least 0.2%. And we see the biggest drop in the investment, consumer and intermediate good sector happening. Why is this happening? This is also actually related to the Dieselgate scandal that we have had here in the last weeks and months. We remember all the big car companies here in Germany, all the big 5 car companies were involved or are involved in this Dieselgate scandal. We just had news actually coming today from one of the European commissioners, Oettinger, who is saying that because of this cartel issue that those companies are facing right now, there was this news that already since the 1990s they were meeting behind closed doors and talking how to manipulate the diesel software, that because of those cartel issues those companies could be fined with more than €1 billion. And already in the past the European Commission was very serious about those cartel issues. Just in the last 10 years car companies here in Europe had to pay more than €10 billion because of cartel cases. And since this could be the biggest cartel case in the history of Germany, the fines could be even higher. So the Dieselgate scandal is a reason why we are seeing this number dropping that you mentioned.
Well, thanks, Daniel. But finally now, how much of what's going on or what's expected to happen on Wall Street and in Washington are likely to impact the European new trading week?
Well, everything started so well this morning. I guess you can see it here in the background. When the blue chip index DAX was opening this morning, we were expecting a big boost coming from the United States. On Friday, we had job reports from the United States coming with a record of people being employed in the United States. Because of that, also the Dow Jones closed very high, and we were really expecting this boost to happen. Another reason why we actually expected this boost, because the euro currency was not as strong as it was during the last weeks and months. Because what happens when we have a strong euro, this is in many cases harming the export business of Germany, because products shipped from Germany to other countries get with a very strong euro even more expensive. So that's harming the business. So on Friday we saw the euro actually going down, and we were even expecting that this would continue, but now the euro again is going up. And because of this issue, this big boost that we were expecting is not happening, and you can see it in the moment. The blue chip index DAX is actually down right now. It's falling, and we are not getting this boost that everybody here at the stock market was expecting.
Well, thanks a lot, Daniel, for those updates. Well, we'll do this again tomorrow.